This is the 2023 Ram 1500 Limited. It has a sticker price of $79,840, and we're going to at least highlight what you get for that price. So we're going to try and hit the high points on this particular model. This is a requested video. If you want to know more about this particular truck, check out the link down in the description of the video to Hebert's Town & Country, where I borrowed this truck from. This truck does feature the Air Ride suspension. The one thing that is not here, but it is available, is the panoramic sunroof. So if you're curious about that, yes, that is an available option and feature, just not here on this particular truck for today's video. And with the sun shining just right on this diamond black crystal pearl coat exterior color, hopefully you can see those nice little sparkles in there, kind of reminiscent of what we used to call metal flake back in the years gone by. You're going to have the blacked out logos here as far as the Ram logo, easy to see there with the matte black finish. The mirror caps are going to be body color. We're going to have the turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors, one of your favorite features, I know, because you always ask about that down in the comments section, and the power adjustable side view mirrors. As far as the remote goes, this is what you're going to have. Everything you likely expect to see here. It does have the Limited logo there on the rear, so a little bit of an extra touch compared to what a lot of vehicles have. You have the power tailgate. You're going to have remote start. I know a lot of you really like that, so can't say that I blame you for that. And a nice look here at the aggressive front end. The Ram logo, again, that blacked out front end with the black grille and the nice headlight design here. We're also going to have the fog lights down there on the lower portion of the bumper and the tow hooks here. That way when you run into the GMC Sierras, the Chevrolet Silverados, the Ford F-150s, and even those Toyota Tundras that are stuck in the mud, sand, or snow, you can take care of business for them because you have plenty of horsepower under the hood, as you can see with that Hemi V8. Now what we have right here, we're going to have the vents. It's basically cosmetic, but just so you can see what is here. This truck is four-wheel drive. It is a 4x4. What about tire and wheel size? Just so you know, 285, which is going to be the width. So we're going to have a lot of meat on the ground. I can't even stretch my hand all the way across there. The 45 series sidewall, which is going to help contribute to a better ride quality. Not typical ride quality for a truck. Plus with that Air Ride suspension, well, you just can't beat it. And you can see right there, in case anybody says they're 20 inches, no, they're not. They're 22-inch wheels. And what exactly is being put to the ground power-wise? Under the hood of this truck is the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. It makes 395 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 410. All that power and torque makes its way through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Kudos to Ram for not covering everything up with a giant piece of plastic. And how about those all-important MPGs? I don't care who you are, that's important in this day and age. Unless you have a Ram TRX, then you flat don't care. But 17 city, 22 highway, 19 combined. And 5.3 gallons of gas is what Ram says you should use per every 100 miles driven. Typically, this truck would have a 26-gallon fuel tank. Because of the customer preferred package that this truck has, this one has a 33-gallon fuel tank. And because I know I should have said something about it earlier, you might have seen it, but we'll talk about it anyway. There is a forward-facing camera on this truck. When it comes to towing and payload, 11,470 pounds. Fairly impressive on the towing capabilities. 1,480 is the payload. You do have the optional cover right here, so if you want that, well, obviously you can get it, don't have to. But we do have the nice bed liner here and a price of almost $80,000. Well, you better have features like that. Multiple tie downs. I don't have the in-bed lighting on right there, but it is there nonetheless. A very easy tailgate to open. That is a power tailgate. You can use the remote to open that. And the dual exhaust to allow for the best exhaust note coming from that Hemi V8. Let's take a listen. And while this truck, I wouldn't say requires this feature because it's not super high off the ground, it's not bad to have it. You have the power side steps right there that will come out when the doors are opened. Let's look at that in real time just to see how long it takes for them to go back under the truck. And that's a good thing, because if somebody runs up to the truck and they're late getting there, well, at least the step should still be out in time for them to be able to hop in without any problems. They can still take advantage of the step. And we're going to have the nice stitching in a multitude of areas here, with not only the stitching here in this area, the contrast stitching, we have the upper and the lower door bends. You do have the Harman Kardon sound system to really make things sound good here. The Ram logo right there on the floor, or on the door sill, I should say. And hidden away underneath the mats here is going to be the in-floor storage. I really like that. I think that's a great thing. You won't see that on other trucks. And then we have not only the storage underneath the seat here, you'll also find the tools to change a tire if needed, but there's more than just that. We also have the ability to go right here. We're going to pull on this latch, and when there's nobody sitting here in the middle row in the rear seating area, you have a full console right here with cup holders, plenty of storage right here. So rear seat passengers having a very similar experience to what the front seat passengers have. And rear seat passengers are not going to be lacking in any form or fashion. Here's where the cup holders are located, a couple more. We already saw where 2 of them are. We have a couple more here, and the command center right here. Multiple connectivity options, not only USB, but you have the 110 power outlet right here. But the thing I like back here that you rarely see in the rear seat of any area, heated seats, yeah, that's not unusual. You're gonna have 3 different settings there. But for those of us living in Northwest Louisiana, especially getting into the hotter time of year, ventilated seats as well. That is a nice feature that really makes it a joy to ride in the rear seating area. We're going to have, again, some of those nice designs. I hope the camera picks that up correctly for you, well enough for you to see what's going on. We have the rear seat pocket storage right here. And like I said earlier, you do have the optional sunroof, but it's not here in this particular case. But I tell you what, we still have a lot to talk about as we hop into the front seating area. And obviously we're going to find a similar look here with the front door on the passenger side of what we saw in the rear, but a little bit more space and very comfortable armrest. A lot of the time pressing down on it, it will feel more firm than it does when you give it the true armrest test and realize, oh, that actually is pretty comfortable. Again, we're going to have that nice stitching right there, the contrast stitching, the upper and the lower door bends, a couple of options for different sizes of cups and bottles, the Ram logo right here, and obviously power seats with these seats in the front for the driver and the passenger. We're going to have obviously heated and ventilated just like we did in the rear. And the Limited logo right there on the upper glove box. We're going to push the button right there. Nice felt line. It's very comfortable, just relaxing. I don't know, is that the kind of voice you need to use when you do something like that? I don't know, it just seems to fit. And here is the gloveless glove box. Anything that you find in here typically is not related to a glove, but I guess people do put gloves in there maybe. I'm not completely sure. And right here, we're going to find more connectivity, quite a bit of that, and quite a bit in the way of capability. We have wireless charging right here, a lot of space here that is configurable in a couple of different ways. As you can see right there, we have the very large armrest and lid for the center console. Again, that Limited logo is going to be found right there, and a couple of different sections here. Again, that very nice felt material that's so luxurious. I don't know, maybe not, but it's there, it's nice. And a lot of space here within the center console, but check this out. You can move this section back and forth, a real great multitasking section. You can hide things away, you can open things up. There's the change holder right there, and just so much space here with the interior of this vehicle. I told you there was a lot going on here in the way of storage, little nooks and crannies. And for you geniuses out there, the Pythagorean, did I say that correctly? The Pythagorean theorem? I don't know. Did I say that right? If I didn't, I'm going to hear about that in the comment section. All kinds of tongue twisting going on there. And let's take a quick look here. We're going to have the vanity mirror, obviously with the lights. Hello, everybody. There's the mirror. And let's see how far back this will slide as far as the sun visor goes. I think it's going to do a really good job of blocking out everything. And you might notice there's no oh crap handle up there. Well, that's because it's up here. So if you have long enough arms, you can reach it. All right, taking a look in through the driver's side door. For the most part, you're going to see the same things we saw on the passenger side, with a few exceptions, a few more buttons and switches. One thing you won't see on the passenger side, which at almost $80,000, personally, I would like to see it, is right here. Seat memory setting. So you have a couple of different settings right there. That's always nice to have. There's the controls for your headlights and all that good stuff. And so quite a bit going on here with this truck. We do have the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel as well. That's leather wrapped. It is nice and comfortable. And here's something you won't find with each and every competitor of the Ram 1500. Adjustable pedals for the driver. The brake and the gas pedals do move back and forth depending on who's driving. Well, they might want to make changes accordingly. And we'll hop inside here and take a look at what we have when we fire the truck up. The Limited logo is going to animate its way on to the digital instrument cluster, as does everything else basically that comes up there. A lot of great features and functionality here that you can go through. I'm just going to use the arrow keys right here, and you can do that a multitude of different ways. But you can see what all is here. We're just going to hurry through. In fact, let me stop on one thing right here. I do like the fact that you have the navigation right here, so that if it's being used and the driver needs to look down, they don't have to look over to the infotainment screen. That definitely is nice. Several more features, a lot of good information available here depending on what the driver wants to know about. Even screen setup. We're not going to demonstrate everything, but just to show what's there. There's your cruise control. And right over here is something that's very interesting. You can control the windshield wipers here. You can also run the windshield washer fluid. There is no front camera washer on this truck, in case you're wondering, but you can also move this thing into the up position right there or into the down position like that. What exactly is that? It's called the turn signal lever. It means you're letting people around you know what you're doing. They don't have to be a prophet to try and figure it out. And right here, the rear view camera mirror is going to be available. That's here on this truck. You can use it as a traditional rear view mirror, or depending on your situation, if you had somebody with a really big head, doesn't have to be literally, could be figuratively, but probably literally a big head back there, that is keeping you from being able to see through the rear window. Well, guess what? You can take care of that. Yes, it's okay to laugh about things like that. I'm not trying to give anyone a hard time, but just have fun here. A little bit of space up here, connectivity with a 12-volt power outlet, and a little bit of storage space right there. That Ram logo is there. And still one of the best screens in the industry. I know that Chevrolet and GMC have come out with their 13.4 inch, but Ram still has a great looking system. A lot going on here, a lot of different features that you can run through right here. We'll just go through and show you what all is here. Navigation is here as well. If you want to use that, you can pair your smartphone. You can go in and make some changes to the settings on the vehicle, as you can see, and there are apps as well. Now let me go back here, and we're going to go into reverse and take a look at the rear view cameras, and the cameras I should say, not just the rear view, but the multiple camera views, as you can see. And here is that front view that I was showing you earlier. I was showing you that it's there. That's what it looks like. You can see everything that's here. Boy, I tell you what, a lot going on here. In fact, you can even come down here and have a few more options. That overhead 360-degree view definitely makes a big difference to see what's going on around you. And one thing that I would be curious to know about your thoughts on, do you like the rotary dial for the transmission, the shifter ultimately here? So do you like it? Do you not? What do you think about that? I'm always curious to know. And then you can control the dual zone climate control on the sides here. As you can see, that's where you're going to make changes there. You can see what all is here ultimately with everything. Pretty simple to use, pretty simple to figure out. But what is this truck like to drive out on the road? Well, let's hop out there and find out. All right, we're going to get out for our test drive and see how things go with that. One thing about it is you definitely will have plenty of power under the hood, and you can definitely hear that going to work as we get down the road here. Wow. Can't really get on it too hard because of the fact that, well, obviously I have some traffic in front of me, so we're going to try and do a little bit of a better exhaust clip here in just a second. Even better than what we did earlier when we had the camera behind the truck. So let's see here. We'll get out here and see what happens. We're not going to go too crazy, but let's see what we can do. Okay, here we go. Let's try this and see what happens. Okay, I said I wasn't going to go too crazy with it, but got on a little bit more than I intended to. Boy, I tell you what, that exhaust note, even with just the stock version, just kind of this isn't supercharged or anything like that. Boy, it's still so much fun and sounds so good. This truck definitely gets down the road with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Plenty of power, and the truck obviously rides extremely well. You know, that's the advantage here. Even without the air ride, you still have a truck that rides extremely well. I have done a couple of these that didn't have the air ride suspension, and what a difference. We're going to get around this slower moving traffic here and drive on up the road. Overall, this truck is a lot of fun to drive. It definitely is going to get you up to highway speeds and whatever you need to do if you're on a 2-lane road and you need to get around slower moving traffic. Well, you will not have any trouble doing that. A very enjoyable truck to drive, easy to get around. Obviously, you'll have all of those different views with the cameras to see what's going on around you. So if you're in a tight situation, maybe you come out when you're at the mall or something like that, or wherever you are in a parking lot, and you end up in a very tight spot, well, it will be super easy to look around and see where everybody is around you as far as that goes. The interior is obviously very nice here. A lot of technology. You definitely are paying for a pretty hefty price here, but you're getting a lot for what you pay. As far as the modern day technology available from Ram, we haven't even really scratched the surface on some of the features of what this truck has, just trying not to keep the video from being too long. But ultimately, the thing I like here is that the technology is not difficult to learn, pretty easy to use, some of the easier in the industry, in my personal opinion at least. The seats are nice and comfortable, obviously fully adjustable, heated, ventilated. You've got all that good stuff there. You really can't go wrong here. This truck is really, it's been a trendsetter for quite a few years with the large screen and all of the features and functionality that it has here. It doesn't even have every single little feature, but that's okay because, you know, you could save a little money that way. But overall, I have to give this truck high marks in a multitude of ways because not only does it have plenty of power, it has plenty of storage. If you want to get around a slower moving vehicle, such as what we're doing right here, well, it's not a problem to do, and it sounds really good when you're doing it. So that is what you get, at least the high points. There is so much more we could have touched on, but we don't want to make an hour-long video. That's what you get for the sticker price of $79,840 with the 2023 version of the Ram 1500 Limited. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Is this a truck you would like to own? Is it worth the sticker price? I'm always curious to know what you think. I have to say a special thanks to my friends at Hebert's Town and Country for loaning me this Ram 1500 for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.